been looking at source control, version control using GitHub and source tree. Other things that I've been involved with is deploying on the Mac. Got the M1 Mac Mini, which was quite exciting to actually get onto the Apple ecosystem, and quite an eye-opener in terms of just how great an operating system is. We're talking about, you know, the general experience in comparison to Windows. I've been on the Windows platform for like 30 years, and now going over to the Apple ecosystem, wow, quite refreshing. And I could even go as far as saying it's probably one of the most sexy experiences I've had in computing for some time. Just the whole nuance of being able to see just how crisp the UI is and how far they've taken the aesthetics in terms of how the dialogues look and the buttons, just the level of detail. I'm not saying they haven't done anything like that on Windows, but let's just put it this way. If you've not been playing with the Mac or the Apple ecosystem outside of like the iPhone, and then you log in 2021, oh my, wow, it's just beautiful. So outside of geeking in on, you know, just how the whole Big Sur operating system, that's the name of the new operating system, the latest operating system as of 2021 on the Mac platform, looked on getting source tree to sync with GitHub. So GitHub is a version control software that's hosted in the cloud, and software developers worldwide check their source code into it. Now you go back 30 years ago and tell your development manager, I would like to take the proprietary software that we're building and spending millions of pounds on actually putting together to actually operate this company. I'd like to take it, and there's a company that starts with the word Git, like idiot, and I would like to take that software and put it on their system so that they can do whatever the hell they like with it while we go to sleep at night. I'd get fired. Today, millions of software developers upload their software to the cloud to sit on somebody else's operating system. Microsoft, hey, we don't have a problem with Microsoft. They've been paying my bills for the past 30 years, right? But anyways, so been getting source tree, which is a graphical interface that on both the Windows operating system and on the Mac OS to sync to GitHub, so that I don't have to be, you know, how can I say, taking my source, putting on a USB and syncing between two different operating systems, which is a lot of work. It actually works out incredibly easier going through doing the upload to the cloud and getting down to the other system, because I'm running with a KVM switch, so all I have to do is press a button and I flick back and forth between the two operating systems. One of the new things that we have here is this M1 chip, which is on the new Mac, and you know, the speed power of this chip, not to mention zero noise and heat that comes off this unit. It's like, it's just been a revelation, right? It's not so much I've been missing out because this only just came out, right? But it's been the right time. So had I gone for something like a MacBook Pro and you know, looking at spending maybe 3 times more to actually get on that platform, yeah, I made quite a good investment, I think, so far. So even being able to log into the 3D environments on the Mac, really fast, no glitches. I did have some issues when I first did the install with flickering on the screen, but managed to work out that it wasn't the Mac Mini. It was a combination of issues with the cable and going into the wrong HDMI port on the back of the actual monitors themselves. But once I was able to overcome that hurdle, then hey, it was just like smooth sailing from there. So what have we learned in terms of this source tree software? Really good software. You're able to not only sync your source control with GitHub, but you got like Bitbucket and a whole other set of ecosystems that you can actually sync your source or your version control with. Had to get used to the nuances of that software. Hadn't used it before. I'm coming from the Microsoft side of things, where you might be using Visual Source Control, SCM, TFS, the traditional softwares back in the day, right? And the last couple of years has been a lot of 3D work where you're not necessarily so much focused on source or version control. You're more just about building your digital assets and being able to create some kind of a creative experience, right? But now if you're actually going to be putting together a game, you're back in the world of software development and you need to act as a developer, right? So as a senior developer, you know, hey, there's so many things that can go wrong when you're building tools. You can lose code, you can lose assets, and even if you do some kind of a backup on your local machine, that's not enough, right? So how would you do this in a corporate environment? You get your source control configured, and you'd even have backup tapes, and you'd have backups off the backups, right? Whether that be monthly, weekly, or daily backups. So what I have here now is a nice solution where it's a distributed backup, right? So what you have is you can check in and check out your source of your version control locally. So you have the client, and you check in and check out of the client. And then what you do after that is you sync to the cloud, right? So that is another step. So now you've got your source backed up locally, and you've got your source backed up in the cloud. So even if your machine dies, unless something happened worldwide, so that you couldn't get some kind of disaster recovery going, you've still got your backup. And then from there, I can then sync the source back down onto the Mac OS. So at the moment, I'm thinking that the Mac is more going to be like the build machine to get into the Apple ecosystem. However, after the experience I've had and just like the general use of the environment, I'm probably going to want to split my time between Windows and the Mac, right? So that's one side of things. The next side of thing was, well, now you got to publish to the Mac or the Apple ecosystem, right? So if you want to get into App Store, you're going to need to be able to get your code tested. You can do your local unit test, but you still need to do integration testing on all these different flavors of the Apple ecosystem, right? So you need to build your source control, your source in the environment. So the environment here now is Unity, but because you're on the Mac, you're going to be publishing APKs and APBs over to Xcode, and Xcode going to want to sign with certificates, whatever you need to do on the platform, so that you can then publish to the cloud or to the app ecosystem, and then use TestFlight to be able to distribute your build on the different environments. So that was a bit of a new experience. Again, I've not been so much in the Apple ecosystem, and so getting my head around all these different workflows, that's just the past week, right? So it's been quite a revelation. So in terms of what I'm doing, every step's being documented. I'm going to be putting some videos together on how I actually got those steps up and running. And then even on the Windows side. So on the Windows, I'm publishing to Android. And for Android, that means I got to go into Google Play Console. That has its own workflow in terms of its publishing, and they've got like different tracks in terms of testing. You can do closed testing, open testing, internal testing. It's been, oh my God. And this is as an indie dev, and you're doing all these steps knowing that you're transferring knowledge from your software development experience onto these new platforms. So it's been quite a busy month in terms of getting into these platforms, getting into the workflows, and just, getting back into general software development as opposed to just pure creative work, working within Unreal Engine or working within Unity, right? So these are the kinds of steps that you have to do if you're going to be in the indie arena. Now, a lot of you out there might think, well, hey, I'm just making a little casual game. I don't really want to be spending all my time, you know, doing all this version control and the source control. But I'll tell you something, it might feel like that day one, but say for example, your app, you uploaded it and it's doing really well. You know, say let's call it Cache Fit Games, right? And you've just done your first version and it's taken off, but you've now lost your key store key or the actual key that you're using to sign your app. You have no way to recover, and the name for that app is going to be staying there on the cloud forever. You have to now build a brand new app with a brand new name, right? Which might not take off. Right? So the whole principle of getting this source control and version control going is to make sure that you don't get yourself into these kind of negative scenarios where you're losing code or losing assets, right? And if you start from the beginning, doing things based on best practice principles, you're probably going to save yourself a lot of pain in the long run. So outside of that, that's pretty much it for January 2021. Like I said, it's been a really busy month, a lot of fun, a lot of learning, documenting every step as we go, because at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these steps, especially once you start integrating with Google or with Apple in the cloud in terms of their workflows, you know, it's quite detailed work, and you don't want to be making any kind of mistakes or having to relearn the same thing every day. So if you think about it, how often are you going to be publishing your app to testing? It depends on how much effort you're putting into the development lifecycle, where in the development lifecycle you are, right? And so I could go away now and be building assets in Maya or in Houdini and spending a lot of time away from the publishing side of things. And then when you come back to it, well, what you're going to do now? You've now been looking at it for like a month or so, and it almost feels like you're going to end up going through a lot of pain having to go and relearn that. So documenting all the steps, I put everything up on Trello, right? So when I go into Trello, I can just go and look on the workflow for publishing to Google, look on the workflow for publishing to the test flight via the Apple iOS ecosystem. And by having that ready reference there within Trello, it means that I save myself a lot of time and a lot of pain, a lot of headache. So anyways, guys, that's it for this week's video. Again, I'd like to thank you for watching. Again, please, if you like anything that we had to say within this video, go ahead and give us a like and drop us a comment if you've got any questions about some of the stuff we're doing. I'm going to be publishing a lot more of these videos with details, showing the workflows in terms of getting onto the Google platform, getting onto the Apple ecosystem. So if you've not done it before, or if you're going to want to have some kind of a cheat sheet where you can go and get some details on how to get stuff done, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Thanks again.